Hello everyone, welcome back to Croc Creek Brewery. Thank you for joining me today. Today you have caught me right in the middle of checking one of our brews. This is our Rosemary Hydromel, and if you remember a couple videos ago, I made two of these. One of these is a wild ferment. That means I have not added any commercial yeast. The only yeast that is present is within the honey and on the rosemary itself. I made another identical one using Lavin K11V 1116, K1V 1116, champagne yeast. That's what this is, and it is currently dry. I've just finished checking it with my hydrometer here. Its specific gravity is 0.999. So it is as dry as it can be. What we're going to do next is we're actually going to carbonate this. This is supposed to be a refreshing mead with a very low alcohol content. So we're going to go ahead and rack this into our bucket here. We have our auto siphon, we have our fermentation bucket, and our ladder for elevation. Let's carefully drop this down in there. Clip it on, and there we go. While that ferments away, let me show you what we're going to carbonate it with. This is regular white table sugar. This is going to be used as our priming sugar for our carbonation. This is exactly 2 ounces by weight of sugar. That's my recipe for everything I carbonate, 2 ounces of white table sugar by weight per gallon. So if you're making 5 gallons, that's going to be 10 ounces of sugar. I have not tried this yet. I'm not sure how it tastes, but we're going to give a little taste test right when we're done. So as this siphons away, we're going to go ahead and fast forward through this so you don't have to sit here and watch me siphon this for the next 15 minutes. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so we're back. We have siphoned off all of our hydromel into our bucket. We have about 1 gallon here. What we're going to do now is add our priming sugar. Very gently to not splash anything. There we go. You don't want to introduce oxygen at this point. Although it's inevitable that you will introduce some, and that is necessary for it to ferment the rest of the sugar to carbonate your brew, you don't want to add that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and stir this in one direction until it is fully dissolved. My other rosemary hydromel, the wild ferment, I checked it this morning. It is almost done. Its specific gravity is 1.020. So I would like it to go all the way to dry so I can carbonate that one as well. But I'm going to let it sit for another week or two and ferment as far out as it can, and hopefully it'll be dry and we can carbonate it. It smells really good. I've also checked the ABV on this brew. We're currently at 7%, so that's still a healthy ABV for a mead. This is much closer to a cider than it is to a mead or a wine, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a light, refreshing mead for the summer. We'll see just how good it tastes here towards the end. Okay, we're going to let that sit for just a minute. And let me remind everyone that this recipe actually was not my own. This recipe was actually taken from another YouTuber, a couple at City Steading Brews, Brian and Derica. So go over and check out their channel, give them a subscription, like their videos, and see how they made their rosemary hydromel. This is a brand new experiment for me. I've made tons of meads, made tons of homemade wines, but I've never made a hydromel. And I've never made one that's this low of an ABV. So I'm very excited to try it. Let's make sure we don't have any residual sugar sticking to the bottom, because if we do, that could cause a bottle bomb explosion, because you'll have more sugar in one bottle than you do in the others. Okay, let me get our bottles ready and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have made sure we don't have any sugar still left suspended in our brew. Everything's homogeneous, mixed together. I've gone ahead and put my auto siphon in there. We have our bottling wand here, and I have 7 bottles. It should fill up about 6.5 bottles. Let's go ahead and get it started. Very tricky to do with just one hand, but there we go. So we're going to fill these all the way up to the brim, and when we remove our bottling wand, that level will drop down to about 1 inch below the top of our bottles. That's right where we want to be.
What did you say?
Sometimes you might have to put your bottles on a lower rung on the ladder to get enough elevation to get the auto siphon to work quickly. And there we go. Our first bottle is filled with our rosemary hydromel. We're gonna go ahead and fill up the other 6 of these. I'll probably fast forward through it, but you'll see me running very quickly filling up all these bottles. Okay, so we are done with our bottling process. You can see all the pretty bottles here. We filled up almost 7 bottles. This is my last bottle. It's almost filled up to the top. That's perfect. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna take a little bit out of this bottle and do a real quick taste test and see how it's done. It'll probably be a little sweet because we added the priming sugar. But I'm very curious. It's actually not that sweet. You do get a good taste of that honey, very earthy notes, very reminiscent of brown sugar. That's the sweetness in it. That's gonna be really good sparkling.
Dang it.
I think that might deserve a permanent addition in my leather-bound book of recipes. I think so.
We can do that later whenever it's
So, all of these bottles are gonna get labeled,
not right on the line.
and they're going to sit and continue to ferment for about 5 days. And after that point, they will have cleared up a little bit. They will have become sparkling, and we'll check on them then, and I'll probably put them in the fridge to chill, and they'll be ready to drink. So thank you so much for joining me here along this journey of making a rosemary hydromel. And I'll do another video when it comes time to rack and bottle my wild ferment rosemary hydromel. That'll be pretty exciting. So I hope y'all had a great 4th of July. I know I'm having a really good one. And we'll see you on the next video here at Croc Creek Brewery.
Oh, really?
Bye now.